Here are all of the best bands designed for Apple's Apple Watch Ultra. Welcome everybody, welcome to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and Apple released the Apple Watch Ultra at the end of 2022. And now here we are months later, and we finally have a more growing, robust selection of bands that were designed specifically for the Apple Watch Ultra. Now, while the Apple Watch Ultra with its 49mm screen size still works with any 42, 44, or 45mm watch bands, there are some that have been specifically designed for one way or another for the Apple Watch Ultra. So that's what I'm going to focus on in this video. I'm of course going to talk about Apple's actual bands, some that launched with the Ultra, other ones that I think work well with the Ultra, as well as a few third-party bands that were designed or at least touted specifically for the Apple Watch Ultra. So let's go ahead and dive into this. There are chapter markers to follow along and links for everything down below in the description. Let's dive into it. As I said, we're going to start with Apple's official bands first off. Now there are three that launched alongside the Apple Watch Ultra, so we have to mention those. First is the Trail Band. This is the lightest weight probably of all of them. Very minimalistic. It comes in a few different colors. The biggest thing, it has this bright orange strap on there so you can easily see it. Makes it very easy to adjust when you are on something like a run. It's extremely comfortable and breathable. It's all like hook and loop Velcro type adhesion to hold that thing on. Again, this is just meant to be really easy to grab and adjust. You're on a run, you need to loosen up or tighten up a little bit. Super easy to do. I think this one's very, very comfortable, super flexible. Definitely like the softest just of Apple's three ones that launched with the Apple Watch Ultra. This is Apple's Trail Band. All of Apple's bands seem to have like these singular focuses. So this here is the Ocean Band. It's basically like a rubbery silicone type material, and it's nice and long, which means it's going to fit over a wetsuit, so you can use this for diving. These also look kind of just like your standard NATO straps, like nautical straps, and I love this clasp here in the front. So this actually pulls off by stretching out. It's like spring loaded, and you can remove it. It just pivots out, and you can adjust it to where it makes sense for your wrist. So you can move it down, pull it out, drop that pin right back into place. Then when you put the strap on, it's able to tuck right underneath there at the perfect interval for you. So it just gets enough of that strap under there. I mean, a little too short there, but tuck it under and it's not going to come free. I love that that's adjustable. All this is titanium hardware, which is like extra nice that they've used titanium instead of something like stainless steel. So everything matches well with the Apple Watch Ultra. The final band that Apple launched with the Ultra is the Alpine strap. So this is more for like hiking. So it's a kind of lighter material. It's not as soft, and you have these loops in the back. So it kind of reminds me of just like a hiking backpack, military gear, still kind of like a NATO inspired like J hook on here, figure 8 hook. And this just pops into any of these to hold it into place. Again, titanium hardware to accent this. I think it's a really cool looking band. There is a bright orange version as well, which again matches the side hardware of this, but also is really visible when you're outside hiking with it. This is a really nice band, lightweight, very cool how Apple styled this for the Apple Watch Ultra. Outside of those, there are two other bands that Apple makes that I think complement the Apple Watch Ultra especially well. So the first is the Leather Link. You can see it here in this dark brown color, but I think this does a really good job of kind of making the Apple Watch Ultra look a little sharper, a little more like it can be taken out to dinner versus just being like an action watch. And these just bands are super comfortable. They go on really easily, some nice colors to them, and they just magnetically connect there. I always love these bands with the regular version of the Apple Watch, and I think it goes well with the Apple Watch Ultra too. Finally, we have Apple's stainless steel link. Now there is technically a very slight mismatch between the stainless steel that's a little bit more polished and the brushed look of the titanium, but I think the color matching is really, really close to one another, and I think these look phenomenal together. It does match the curvature almost perfectly, and you're never gonna find a better metal band than Apple's. Just one squeeze, this butterfly clasp opens up, easily close it there. There's no extra kind of like, it just fits perfectly against your wrist, so you're not gonna get any marks there from wearing it for extended periods of time. And you can remove all the links with just a finger press. So anytime you need to remove one of these, even if you're not doing it often, you can just press down and this comes apart and you can just slot these back together and they will click back into place the most ingenious, over-engineered thing I've seen, but this, I had to spring for this when I got my Apple Watch Ultra because I just think it looks absolutely phenomenal. Moving to third-party bands, I have two from Nomad that they've designed to complement Apple Watch Ultra. The first being this sport band that comes in this very vivid ultra orange colorway that is just perfect. This is Nomad's take on Apple's sports band. It's made out of this lightweight fluoroelastomer FLA material, very breathable. There's channels on the underside that make it really comfortable to wear on your wrist, especially when you're working out. And it's got this custom metal hardware, this little pin. So you have this little pin that you put into place, lock that in, and then tuck it underneath. Very similar to Apple's, but it looks a little bit more kind of like utilitarian, little sharper angles here, and just custom design that differ from what Apple offers. But again, bright orange to complement the orange of the Apple Watch Ultra. I really like Nomad's sports band. If you're not going to buy Apple's stainless steel link band, check out Nomad's titanium one. Apple doesn't even make a titanium band for the Apple Watch Ultra. Here it is on the watch. This is entirely custom made for Apple Watch here, and the titanium version has been in hot demand since the Ultra launched. The colors match perfectly, brushed titanium, super lightweight for a link band, much lighter than Apple's is, of course, because Apple's is stainless steel, and they have about nailed the clasp. So look how thin that clasp is, and you just squeeze, and it comes apart magnetically. So it holds in place, boom, like that. Just pops right together. I love it. It's incredibly cool. There's a tool to remove links included in the box, so you have everything you need. But otherwise, this is the second best band that I've ever seen for Apple Watch. Sandmarc also has its own titanium band that it designed from the ground up for Apple Watch Ultra. A couple things to note about this band. First, because it was designed after the Ultra launched, they were able to use proper lugs. These custom lugs fit the Apple Watch Ultra perfectly. Where some of the other ones go in just a little bit, these ones are literally designed for the Ultra, so it finds that curvature just completely spot on. So I really like that touch with the Sandmarc version of the band. The one thing I don't like as much is it uses a kind of a standard clasp, these style here, which will sometimes have a tendency to dig into my wrist a little bit because this falls down right there, hits into my wrist. So that's why this is ranked lower for me than the Nomad one, but it's still a very sharp band, completely titanium, so it's got this nice lightweight feel, just a very premium band for the Apple Watch Ultra with the proper lugs to match. Finally, two leather straps from Quill. These are both advertised specifically for the Apple Watch Ultra. Going with the smaller one, this is the single tour NATO leather Apple Watch band. So single tour, so it's all one piece with just one wrapping around versus kind of like the Hermes double tours that you see that'll wrap around your wrist twice. This just doesn't do that. It has kind of a standard NATO style strap, but otherwise is very similar to other Quill bands with the cutout here behind the Apple Watch to not interfere with most of the sensors. Here the band is on. It's a very simple, elegant, all leather band, very nice hardware on it. I did have the black one here, but they do of course have the silver to actually match the Apple Watch Ultra. This is just what I happen to have on hand when I was filming this. And as you can see it start to pop out, this can completely back up. So if you had a different style charger you need to place this on, it would still work. The band would not interfere with that. And it pulls tight when it's on your wrist. Here it is on. Quill just makes incredible bands, all like these handmade details on them. I think they look phenomenal. And this is more simple than the full cuff models that we're going to look at that some people don't prefer as much. So let's take a look at the cuff. Much bulkier, this is the Adventure Series Bradley cuff for the Apple Watch Ultra. This of course very much leans into those outdoor rugged vibes of the Apple Watch Ultra. I love the look of this thing. It's much chunkier, so the big watches are in right now. Same with the straps to go with it. It's got a very unique appearance. I really like these. I still think they're very comfortable. You have NATO style hardware. It's a little bit weird, but NATO style hardware here on the inside, which is typical with the Quill bands. It's a two-part design, so the actual cuff part comes out from the band. Like it can move freely in and out there. So two-part design for this guy. But I think it looks absolutely stunning, and it's great in design here for the Apple Watch Ultra. So that is it. Those are my favorite bands for Apple Watch Ultra. I swap mine regularly, and I still kind of go back between all of these bands. I think they all have something to offer that works well with Apple Watch Ultra versus other versions of the Apple Watch. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Which one is your favorite? What are you rocking with the Apple Watch Ultra? Let me know in the comments or on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. Again, if you want to grab any of these bands, there are links for them down below in the description. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next video.